Welcome back, and today I guess we're going to put a video out there for you guys. And I know some of you have mentioned in the last video I did that I haven't had any up for a couple weeks, and you're not wrong, I haven't. The weather around here has been horrible. Been wet, been cold, been rainy. It's just not been good for doing videos. I didn't have much garage stuff to do, so it's beautiful out today. So we're going to go ahead and get out the Wolfridge Pro 28C compact commercial splitter. There's a 6-way wedge that I've got with it. There's a sorting table that comes with this. And I wanted to discuss something about this splitter that I haven't seen anybody really talk about. And that is the power to weight ratio, as well as the speed with this thing. And what I mean by power to weight ratio is how much power is packed into this machine and how easy it is to maneuver around. We can take this thing out into the woodyard, move it around, jockey it around. Real easy compared to some of those bigger models that you see. Even if you're looking at the 35 SHO, that's a beast of a machine, but it's a lot of machine to move around by hand when you get it into the woodyard. I don't own this splitter. This is something that Wolfridge let me have here for a time frame until the owner comes and picks this thing up. You notice I keep it in the garage here, and there's a reason for that. One, I don't own it. Two, because I don't like leaving my equipment outside. With this thing being as portable as it is and easy to maneuver around, that's why I bring it inside. It's easy to keep in here and out of the weather. When you have a lot bigger splitter, for the majority, most people keep those things outside. I'll be honest with you, I've yet to see anything I put up on here that it won't split. If I need to take the wedges off of it, run it through a single wedge to bust it down, I can do that. Its power to weight ratio on this thing is just unreal. The size of the machine versus the power that it has to offer, and then I talk about the speed, so it's got all three. I can maneuver it around, it can bust up any rounds I need to bust up, and it's got the speed to get the job done quick. So let's go ahead and get this thing loaded up, move it down to the woodyard. All right, so I got the stand down. I can adjust that height. Got all my rounds over here that I'm going to be moving. And like we said about the maneuverability of this thing, in reality, this thing's got a commercial grade power behind it, but it's a box store maneuverability, meaning it's light enough that I can take and maneuver this thing around. So if I want to pick this up, I can twist it. I can move it back around. You're not going to do that with a lot of the bigger splitters out there. I don't even know if you're going to do that with a 35 SHO. I've never run one, so forgive me for comparing it to one, but I just don't think with the way those are built, the real big rear ends on them, the suspension, the wheels, all that they have, that you can maneuver them around this easy. And I can just about guarantee you, again, I don't know this for a fact, but this Pro 28C compact commercial will split just about anything you throw at it. I mean, I've got some 30-inch hickory rounds over here. If I've got the back for it today, we'll throw one of those in and split it up. Think about the size and how you want to be able to maneuver this thing around in your woodyard. Do you want to bring everything to your splitter? Leave your $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 splitter sitting outside because it's too much to move around? Or is one this size what you're looking for? Put it in your garage, keep it safe. You can take it to your neighbors, you can do whatever you want. And I guess that's why I like this one. So let's go ahead and get this thing situated, get a basket out here, and start splitting up some of these rounds. Before we start that up, kind of want to show you guys what I've done here with this saw stand. I had a couple cement slabs. There's one here and there's one here. About 10 years ago when we used to do a lot of camping, I had a fifth wheel camper, and up in the driveway up there, I poured these 2 pads so the camper wheels always sat on those slabs. Well, when we got rid of the camper, I dug the slabs out, kept them, stored them off up in the woods there, and I finally pulled them out, and they make a really, really nice area for my log cutting stand. And you can see here, set them both down, got them kind of leveled up. They're out in the area now where I've got this graded out real nicely. I can grab any of those logs with either the tractor or the excavator, bring them up, set them on here. As I cut them, they'll drop. And as you've seen the other video that I did on this particular stand, they'll roll out to the splitter. I can situate this splitter any way I want to accept the logs that come down into it. You can also see that I put a brown paint. It's a deck paint, deck and fence paint. I think I said in the last video on this thing that I wanted it to kind of blend in over here in the woods. So when you come up my driveway and look over here, in with the trees and logs, that didn't stand out like a sore thumb. So you can see that it kind of blends in pretty nicely. The whole workflow process: in, cut, out, split, basket, up to the wood yard for drying. We'll go ahead and see how my upgrades with this work in a future video with my thicker beams here and all that. But let's go ahead and get this Pro 28C compact commercial splitting some wood with the sorting table and the 6-way wedge. Got the 4-way wedge just sitting on there. The 6-way wedge is pinned in. You just remove this pin, slide that up off to show you. So now you got the choice of either the other wedge that gives you a 4-way, or this wedge gives you a 6-way. I personally like the 4-way. I like the splits that you get. You don't get a whole lot of mess. It's not hard on the machine, but with the 6-way, I could see, like these 2 cherry logs here, for the size I cut, that 6-way wedge, this is about 12-inch diameter, I bet. So with that 6-way wedge, I think a 12-inch log is about the perfect diameter to give you a nice split. For the kind of wood I like to burn, I don't like the big rounds. It seems like everybody likes the smaller splits for campfires and things like that, and that's what I like. So 6-way wedge is great for that. 4-way for something smaller, I would say 8 inches and less. And then when you get into these bigger rounds, you know, I've got these things are probably anywhere from 14, 16, maybe even 18-inch diameter. It'd be a toss-up between the 4-way and the 6-way wedge on those, because when you put the 6-way in, you're going to have some thick splits somewhere, and you'll have to resplit them based on how I like to split them. Now, if you're doing boiler wood or whatever you want to call it, then maybe you don't really care how big those splits are. But I do. I like that smaller split. So we'll go ahead and run through. Maybe we'll do a size comparison and how the 4-way wedge compares to the 6-way wedge when we split a log up that's, you know, they're both equal diameters. And then I've got these big, huge hickories back here. We'll see if we can't roll one up here later. I will probably just leave the main wedge on it and split it in half and then wrestle it around that way. All right, so when you change these wedges out, pretty simple. Come down here, you line it up with the bottom ram, the cylinder down there, put your pin back in. And people claim that they lose these pins all the time, but if you make sure you shove it on, and then I like to turn it around the other way, so if anything ever does push on it, it's always pushing on instead of pushing off. Then you just take this other wedge. You can either set it down or set it somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the back of the side-by-side. But the sorting table, I haven't used it yet. I wanted to get it set up and show you. And what it does is it's got some pins here, quick attach pins. Pull them off. And then you take that sorting table, slide it in there, and you take and put the pins back in it. And there you go. You got the sorting table for letting stuff drop. Now I can put the tongue, shove it back so it's out of the way, which I will do when I bring a basket up to this, so we can slide them off, let the trash fall through the sorting table rack there, and then go from there. The other thing that I I think I would recommend maybe to Wolfridge, maybe Chris, is if you're going to have a sorting table, give the people an option to buy a longer receiver hitch tube, so you don't have to keep taking this on and off when you either want to hook it up to your side-by-side or four-wheeler, because, or even on the back of your pickup truck. Because if I hook this up to my ball hitch right now, put it on there, this brings this so much closer to the back side of the side-by-side that when I turn, it could go in here and hit something. So as an option, I would say give a longer drawbar that would, you know, is basically this length, 16 inches it looks like. Make the drawbar 16 inches longer so you can still trailer it with this thing on. So somebody doesn't have to pull it off and set it in here, because when I take this up into the woods and I want to split, I'll have this back here filled with saws, gas, pickaroons, different things like that. I don't want to have to pick everything out to put that on. So it would be nice. Either that or create a way that this thing pins up for transportation. Something like that. But either way, it's nice to have that sorting table. I wouldn't own one without it. And we'll go ahead and move this hitch back. It's actually that simple, just to slide it back and repin it. Here's something that's nice. Again, like I showed you before, you can't maneuver one of those big ones around like this to get it to kind of where you want it. So now I brought that back, so now all these are right in line with my log lift. And again, I'm touting this because a lot of times if I want to take this up into the woods or want to take it to somebody else's house, wherever, it makes it so much easier to be able to maneuver this around. Again, the power to weight ratio of this thing is unbelievable, meaning it's very easy to maneuver and it'll split anything I got and it'll do it quick. All right, well, I did a quick comparison of the 4-way and the 6-way wedge, and some of you might be saying, well, wait a minute, why do you call that a 4-way? Well, because you got the wedge going this way and the wedge going that way. Splits it into 4 pieces. And the 6-way, 4 pieces, but then you got the vertical on there. So that's why they call it a 4-way and a 6-way. But I wanted to show you in similar sized pieces of wood, and this is maple, and it's just stringy and horrible. Doesn't pop, doesn't split, still kind of wet, tough to deal with. But just wanted to show you a comparison with the 4-way and the 6-way, and then with this extension sorting table on the end here. If you're in doubt whether you want this with your machine or not, get it. It makes it nice when you have to resplit. It gives you just enough little extra room out at the end that it'll hold the wood, and you can pick it up and bring it back. Or if you need to stage it and you've got somebody helping you like Adam was, makes it nice that I can split, push it through, and it's sitting here ready for him to go ahead and put in. You can see the kind of the trash and stuff that comes off of that. I'll probably pick some of that up and put it in the kindling basket. But all in all, you know, this thing is going through these 14, 16-inch diameter maple stringy, wet stuff without any trouble at all. I'm going to go ahead and take the 4-way wedge off. I'm going to roll one of these hickories up here that we cut. And I'm guessing that's about 28 to 30-inch diameter. I've watched a lot of other guys do this. To me, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you fight and struggle with seeing how big of a round you can put up on there? When you're old like me and you want to blow a back out, it'd be easier to get a splitting wedge in a maul and bust that in half or noodle it up or do whatever, rather than showing how much you can lift on one of them to get it up on there. But we're going to go ahead and do it because I got Adam here. He can help me catch whatever falls off. He's younger and more capable than I am. So we'll go ahead and get that on. Do it with the single wedge and see how the hickory splits up compared to this maple here. We got a full basket done today. We got the maple and the hickory. Man, that maple was stringy stuff. That makes it tough when you got to sit there and rip and pull on that to get it go through. But we got it filled. Got it split, got it done. I did want to make sure that you guys are aware that if you do get one of these splitters, definitely look into a 6-way wedge and the extension sorting table. Sure make it nice. One thing that I do want to mention is this Wolfridge splitter is going to be leaving the wood yard here. My time is up with it. The good thing is one of my viewers saw this and contacted Wolfridge and actually put money down on it. They're going to be making a trip up. We're going to do some wood with it, have them try it out, test it, get get a chance to play around with it, we might even do another video on it. I don't know. This thing is very nice for maneuverability, and it splits anything. It split anything we throw at it. So if you like the video, give me that thumbs up. If you have any interest in one of these splitters, check out wolfridgemfg.com. See all the different splitters that they have. It's the one I like. It's the one that works best for me. Small woodyard, maneuverability, able to take it places, able to take it to the woods, do different things with it. It's not stuck in one spot. I put it away every night when I'm done with it. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you again on the next one. Thanks.